Hey guys, it's Junior. Welcome back to my channel, Horsepower Warehouse. I just wanted to give you guys a really quick update on the 66 Rust Bucket Corvette was what we'll call it. I did a previous video on this car when we were taking the chassis out of it and it literally came out in two pieces. We decided to junk that chassis, go with a new donor chassis that's appropriate for this year, and build it up from there and make things correct on this car. Unfortunately, you know, the guy was not given the full story when he purchased this car, so he brought it to us, and we do C2 Corvettes, you know, almost more than any other model of car in our restoration side. So we were like, we can get it done quickly, and that's what we did. So let's check it out. You can see the bottom of the car has been completely stripped down to bare fiberglass all the way back. We have a new transmission tunnel insulator. The only thing that's on here that's getting removed are these body mount straps or transmission mount, seat belt reinforcement straps that go through and connect to the frame. But everything is coming out really nice here. Looking back through the transmission tunnel, everything has been cleaned up, taken down to bare fiberglass, completely cleaned all the way back and up into the rear here. You can also see that the chassis has been built into a roller at this point. What we're looking at here is a 66 chassis that has been powder coated. All of the suspension components, everything in the front, the upper and lower A-arms, all the spindles, I mean, everything has been powder coated and completely rebuilt with brand new components. All the bushings are brand new. All the upper and lower ball joints. You can see we don't have calipers on the front yet, but otherwise it's pretty much to a roller status is what we call this. New brake lines, all new clips, all new hardware, going all the way back. You can see everything is done correctly. Rear end, you'll notice it's been completely rebuilt. We use new hardware, obviously the U-joints. I mean, anything that can be rebuilt on this rolling chassis has been completely gone over, including the rear leaf spring. You can see there's new insulators in between here. I mean, it looks great. This is how it comes out every single time we do a C2 Corvette. You can see we still have a bunch of the old parts here that we're kind of picking through and deciding what we're going to keep, restore, and put on here, and what we're going to discard and use for cores. So what's the next point from here? Well, we're going to continue building out this roller. It needs a drive shaft installed, needs the exhaust manifolds put on, distributor put in, carburetor, thermostat housing. I'll go around the front and show you guys here. Water pump needs to be put on. We will install the fuel pump. We like to get as many accessories on as possible at this point, just because it's wide open. It's a heck of a lot easier to work on. The transmission cooler lines, we use stainless steel lines that'll go through here to the front to the tranny cooler. You know, we'll just keep going through, build this up until it's about as complete as we can get it as a roller, and then we'll put it down onto the body. The body mounts, you can see you have one in the front here, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Technically, in the Corvette world, for whatever reason, they say that there's 4 mounts plus a radiator support mount. They don't consider that a body mount, but it does the exact same thing. Nonetheless, those all need to be shimmed, and it's critical how you shim the chassis when you put it to the car, because that is how you set the door gap alignment on these vehicles. It has nothing to do with the hinge assembly of the doors like you may think. It's all in the body mount shims. When we get done shimming the car, as per NCRS spec, you are supposed to put crayon marks on the chassis indicating how many shims that you actually use. So we go ahead and replicate that process and do all the correct marking on these chassis. as we go through. It's also supposed to have a stencil in this area upside down, because this chassis originally was built upside down at the Corvette factory, so that's how they marked it, and that's how we will replicate it, and it's actually specific to the VIN of the car. So I'm still waiting on that stencil to come in. Everything else is coming out kind of nice. We'll put the fuel tank support here, and of course the fuel tank with new straps and insulators before we put it up into the body. Just what else do we got here? A whole bunch of brake lines that still need to be installed once we get our calipers rebuilt. We have stainless steel sleeved calipers that we'd use. They last a heck of a lot longer. It's a pretty good upgrade for the brakes on these cars. It's coming out nice, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. I just wanted to give you a really quick update because we're making pretty good headway on this car. I get in a bad habit of just working away and not sharing anything with my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for those of you who have subscribed, by the way. You're awesome. If not, please consider doing so. If I don't know that you guys even like seeing this type of stuff, I'll probably just discontinue doing it. But I have a pretty good subscriber base going right now, so I'm really proud about that. I will do another video update on this car. I have some other stuff lurking in the background here. You can see the 65 Shelby. I want to do a quick video on that. That's a cool project in itself. I have the Hellcat Challenger update. We're doing some really fantastic upgrades to that as well. I don't want to bore you guys, so I don't show you every single build that I do. But since you've clicked on a Corvette video, let me show you some more Corvette stuff that we're working on immediately. We have the 67 here. You can see the chassis is back from powder coat, and we have various parts back from powder coat as well. Whole bin full that's wrapped up. You can see the silver seat here is for the 64 convertible that I'm kind of wrapping up. This is a complete silver interior car. Silver door panels, 4-speed. It's a really nice car. It's coming out well. I had some issues with the gauges, so I took the entire cluster out and rebuilt everything, tested 2 gauges. We found out that the temperature gauge is faulty, so I have a new one coming. All the gaps are really nice. The doors close well on this car. We did put the real knockoffs on with the Redline tires. It actually came with hubcaps on it and steel wheels, so we decided to go with the real knockoffs. So that's a nice touch. Side pipes, of course. Engine is coming out really nice. We do everything correct here as far as the shields and the correct hose clamps and hoses, and you know, it's the details that matter in a project like this. So that's coming out really nice. It still needs to be completely detailed, but we're working on that. We'll get that done as soon as I finish the interior, and I'm really close. You can see how it's dusty over here. Everything will be polished. Next up in the Corvette world is getting our Mossport green car. You can see how I pretty much have the rolling chassis completely built out on this car. The only thing I'm waiting for is a drive shaft to come in. But yeah, the Mossport green color is just, it's a fantastic color. It's really kind of growing on me. I hated it at first, but it's special. You can see we already have the bottom of it completely stripped. It's kind of in the same situation as the 66 silver car that we have over there. And there's the roller waiting, covered up. What else is on the way out? This 427 car, we're just doing very light detail work, putting the correct battery box in it. It was a nice car from the get-go, but every car, it seems like, has small kinks that they need to be worked out. Let's see, what year is this? There's no central tail light, so it's not a 67, and it doesn't have the 5 fins here. It's got the 3, so it's either a 65 or a 66. 66 has the Stingray, 65 does not, so we're looking at a 66 427 car. Power brakes, power steering, big block, convertible, side pipes, knockoffs. This one is loaded. But anyhow, thank you guys so much for joining me on today's adventure. I'm gonna knock out some other videos here, specifically on the Hellcat Challenger, and I might do a video on this 65 GT350 Art Tribute. I'm doing a fantastic audio suite in that thing, with a custom console and everything else like that. So please consider subscribing if you haven't done already, and until next time, thank you, take care.